my face. Took me hard to get down. My whole life in your hands. 'Cause I'm high as fuck, I'm high as fuck. I really don't know, but I'm high as fuck. I'm happy this high, I'm high as fuck. 'Cause I'm high as fuck, I'm high as fuck. I really don't know, but I'm high as fuck. I'm happy this high, I'm high as fuck. Exhilaration, gyration, going higher on you. You climb into spaces, I can hear you. Different dimensions of you. Elevation, elation, feel my heartbeat seeping through. My happy place where I crave you. My mind is trapped because I'm high as fuck. I'm high as fuck.
Hi, I'm Alexia Sangold, and this is Accra, Ghana, and this is Theorematic.
'Cause I'm high as fuck, I'm high as fuck. I really don't know, but I'm high as fuck. I'm happy this high, I'm high
So,
as fuck.
I've always loved music. I remember my first memories of music was singing with my grandma. She used to sing hymns, and I used to sing with her, and I learned hymns and Ghana folk songs, and I sort of fell in love with music at that point, but not fully.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't even think I could sing, but eventually, as time went on, I started listening to like CDs back then. There was a record player in my house, but by the time I grew up, they had moved from records to CDs. So my parents had this rack. They didn't even really used to listen to music, but then they had this rack, filled with CDs. And I would just, when I come from school, I would just listen and keep switching. So I was introduced, the first album I loved was Sade's Lovers Rock. Yes, that was the first. I was like, ooh. I was like, this is really nice. I was really young. And then I used to listen to, my dad had a CD, the album, I don't remember which album it was, but it was a Barry White album. I'm trying to remember a song on it. I think it was Can't Get Enough of You or Can't Get something.
Yeah.
So I used to listen to that. Spice Girls, back then they used to do compilations of 20 best in the world. I used to listen to all of that. So I fell in love with music gradually, but I loved it so much. And I knew from maybe, let's say 8, that I wanted to sing. But then, I don't know about your part of the world, but like over here, there's a bit of perception if you want to sing, because they're like, it's not a proper profession. You probably won't make a lot of money, and everyone is. So the first time I openly said, I'm not going to tell you who, but the first time I told someone in my family that I wanted to sing, I think I was 10. Even at that age, I was afraid to finally voice out that this is what I wanted to do. But then I finally got enough courage to say, oh, this is what I'm going to do. They laughed in my face. They laughed like they were drinking beer, and they laughed in my face. So that was when I kept quiet. I was like, okay, this is my dream. I'm going to keep it in my heart. I'm going to nurture it. I'm going to feed it there and hope that, things work out eventually for me. So I never told anyone again, except when I met like a producer who was already into music. Then I'll say, oh, I want to sing. Like, I love music like that. They're like, really? So even now when people like hear that I can sing, they're surprised. They're like, I didn't know you could sing. I was like, yeah, I didn't want you to break my heart. I'd rather protect myself, protect my dream, and work at it and try it.
I wanna dance tonight. Boy, just let me feel insane tonight. I wanna dance tonight.
The ideal would be to work on an album, but right now it's expensive to work on an album that I feel would be worth what I could give, what I'm possible of doing or whatever. So right now, what I'm focusing on, what I would focus on, would be like an EP. Yeah, something that could show people like what I can do. You know, little bits and pieces of my versatility and like different kinds of genres. You know, but all sorts of following the same line, sort of. Yeah. So yeah, like an EP.
Can't believe I got lucky in this mystery. Sway with me, baby, sway with me.
I feel like it's still growing. It's like really, it's really growing. Our genres are not very diverse. We have maybe dancehall and high life, and hip life. You
What's
know,
high life? Like what's more?
high life is more the olden kind of. I can't explain it. I know it when I hear it, but you know, more Daddy Lumba, more Machidede, you know, that kind of music. You know, it was very beautiful. I won't lie, it's very beautiful. I mean, that's the kind of music that influenced us when we were growing up. That and hip life. Hip life is like a form of pop. But then I guess our beats are a little different, so then that's how come they call it hip life. It has like there's so much talent, there's so much, but most of our people are closed off to the idea of other genres. Exactly, it's almost like they're only focused on what they know. So if you want to be able to make money or be commercial, you have to follow be like a dance hall or a hip life or a high life sort of, artist. But it's growing, so I'm guessing like it's budding. People are now, opening up to the idea of music that doesn't sound. It's almost like when you're Ghanaian, they expect your music to sound Ghanaian. And I'm like, everyone has their music influences from diverse places, and what speaks to your soul, what comes out of you. I love dancehall. I love call it asokbo. I love asokbo. Like, you should see me dancing to asokbo, but it just doesn't come out of me. It's not the music that comes out of me. So I respect what comes out of me, because that is what comes. I can't force it. But we're growing, so I feel like eventually we'll be able to accept, all these other, not even just accept, but like hone it to suit us, like EDM and house and all these things, Afro it a little, and make it unique to us, so that it's not so foreign.
I'm gonna girl, you won't marry me, oh. You hold things I be cuckoo watcher. Hope my love goes sweet past the sheet talk.
Okay, so I met Jimmy, who's my manager, and yada yada yada. We started working together, and then he was working with them too, and so we started vibing, to music, and it was really good. And it's a fusion of, I'm Ghanaian, but two of them are Nigerian, so it's basically a fusion of two different cultures, and it was really beautiful. Well, for me, I thought it was really nice, because there was this song we were working on once, and my tribe, I'm Ghana, they said we migrated from Ile-Ife in Nigeria, and I think that side of Nigeria, they're Yorubas, and one of the guys he's Yoruba. So I was like, oh, in my language, like we're writing something and we wanted to write it in our local languages, and I was like, in my language, come and dance with me is Bawojo. And then he was like, really? Because in his language it's Bamijo. And I was like, really? That is so cool, because then we're like, oh, like we're two countries apart, but then there are traces that, traces of us, I don't know, I don't want to say together, but like there are little traces of our, that we're not so separate.
Yeah, it connects.
Yes,
yeah.
connects.
One time for the love, boy, I won't make him mad for the love. If I sing for you, you gonna love me, oh, baby, let me know.
Okay, so sometimes I hear a song and I'm like, this song is not for me. And sometimes I hear a song and I'm like, oh my God. Then I'm asking, who's the producer? This is really nice. Can I write it? And it comes. My first song, that was when, well, not my first song, but my first song on a beat that I wrote to a beat came to me in literally 2 minutes. But then I was at that point where I was trying to figure out if, you know, if I really could do music, you know, professionally, you know, if I had what it takes. So I felt like it was a sign that, oh, you can do this, because my first song came out. It came to me literally in 2 minutes. I sang into the phone. I listened to the beat, sang into the phone. I was like, I guess I'm talented, you know. So then I did that. So that was easy. But then subsequently, naturally, I don't think they'll make it easy for you all the time. But subsequently, sometimes I have to sit down and, you know, write, you know, cancel, you know, this sounds good, this doesn't sound good, this is not what I want to talk about, you know, it fits, doesn't fit, you know, the word is too much, big words, you need to, you know, calm down on it a little. But the ordinary, like if I entered the studio and I heard something that I liked, I'll just take a pen and a paper, listen, and write. I feel like the best songs come. You don't have to force it. Yeah. You don't have to force it, because magic just. I mean, that's what music is. It's magic. It just, the best ones. I mean, you tweak it after you're done, but then the best ones just come.